Good evening, Green Bay, surrounding areas of Wisconsin, Ohio, shout out Mentor, Pennsylvania, and our 3 stores there, as well as little old Virginia, North Carolina, down there in the Southeast. Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining me. It is 6 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Wisconsin. That means it's about 7 p.m. if you're on the eastern side. And we're rocking here in the Dispensary Live. I have a really special episode today, and I appreciate you all joining me. I see some comments early, and I want to thank you so much for the interaction. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe button if you will. Be a friend and tell a friend. Today I have 2 very seasoned guests that are joining me today. One of them, as a matter of fact, both of them are from not but an hour and a half away or so. Seasoned author and founder of the Stoner's Traveling Guide, Mr. Gene Check, as well as heritage hemp farm owner and cannabis activist on many scales and for many a year, Jay Selthfoner. Thank you boys so much for joining me. And you both look great.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Is seasoned, is that another word for old? Or
Some say old is just a arrogant term for wise, you know.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
But I also want to thank you for bringing a little bit of your entourage. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the brand new studio here in Green Bay, we have a live studio audience. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I appreciate that big time. What an honor it is. That's the Brother Bear camera. Bear with Brandon for just a moment. Thank you all for being here and for you guys for making the trip as well. Shout out Lake Effect. Everybody's got that thirst going on. And if you guys want to enjoy a high rise, even you at home, whether you stop by the dispensary or not, let's enjoy our Thursday program and let's crack a cold one and let's enjoy responsibly together.
Just gotta get that.
Gotta get that. That's what Coca-Cola was notorious for in their commercials with the polar bear.
Yeah.
Even the polar bear let out a. But thank you both for joining me today. I wanted to start with Mr. Gene.
Yeah.
I know for an absolute fact that nobody in my audience knows who the heck you are.
Oh.
I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, and I want to fix that real quick, brother. So who
Sure.
are you more or less, and how did you come to be the author that you are? Because from what I understand, you have a little bit more than just the Stoner's Traveling Guide up your sleeve. So do introduce yourself to our subscribers and take your time, man. You are a very interesting look, and I appreciate you being here today, brother.
Well, thanks. I have made my living in the outdoors primarily for most of my life. And I've harvested fishing bait and crayfish, wild crayfish and things like that. And I wrote some books that were relating to that type of stuff. But my motivation for writing that Upper Michigan book was the fact that, you know, Upper Michigan is such an incredibly beautiful, pristine, amazing place. And it tends to be kind of conservative. And I was really trying to encourage more stoners to get up there, maybe live up there. And what's ironic is when I wrote the book, I was still a Wisconsin resident. And now we're writing a book about Wisconsin. And I just recently became an Upper Michigan resident. So, but anyway,
flip-flop.
The other thing that was weird to me is like, there's so many dispensaries in Upper Michigan and a lot of Wisconsinites go up there. And it always disappointed me that they would go up there, spend the time, you know, drive a long ways, spend a bunch of money and time, get up there, get their stuff and turn around, go home. And I mean, they're right up there in this beautiful, you know, amazing place. Why not check out a few of the things that Upper Michigan has to offer?
And when it came to a few of those things that the UP has to offer, so I've come to learn at home since moving here, it's called the UP. Is that you doing the grassroots, like you going town to town and finding all these niche little places that I've seen in this book?
Yeah, you know, I've been going up there for decades. My brother lived way up there in Houghton where they get 20 feet of snow, which is ridiculous. But yeah, there's a lot of amazing little quirky places, you know, and that's what the book is about. It's not like your typical tourist book. We try to get into a lot of the weird, humorous, quirky, oddball, kind of stuff that stoners would be into, you know what I mean? Because I always viewed stoners aren't your typical tourist, you know? They're into the little bit more offbeat, fun, musical, outdoors, spontaneous. And so that's what we kind of try to focus on, that type of stuff.
So you would say that to this Stoner's Guide to the Upper Michigan and the Wisconsin one, you would say that there is a practical use to it for sure.
Oh,
100%.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We try to get into a lot of these, of course we do cover the marquee attractions and some of them are really cool. You should go to some of these marquee attractions like Pictured Rocks or, a lot of the famous attractions in the UP, Mackinac Island and all that type of stuff. But there's also a lot of real weird offbeat places you can go that aren't in some of the tourist guides. And that's what we like to cover too.
How much of this book was recommendations from locals where you would go and venture yourself?
All of the above. I mean, a lot of it was stuff we explored ourselves. And a lot of times we'd ask to find out from the locals what their special places were, And I had some of the best luck in that regard with some of these small motels because, they want you to come back. And so they're actually going to tell you some good places to go because they want you to keep coming. Whereas some of the locals you meet at the cafe, are they going to tell you your favorite mushroom spot or their favorite fish? Maybe not, But
that's a really good point there now that I think about it. And way to go. I mean, that sounds like a lot of damn work, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's fun though. I mean, it's hard to think of it as work. And with the Michigan book, it's something that just kind of developed over decades of traveling there, And it wasn't like, oh, let's do some research online for a couple weekends and write a book. No, this was something that developed over many years. And that's the same thing with the Wisconsin book. I mean, we were all basically raised in Wisconsin, all stoners. We traveled all over Wisconsin hundreds of times, kind of know some quirky spots on our own,
Did your perspective change as the series kind of progressed, or even from state to state? Did you notice that, oh, maybe we should adapt this because this state kind of showed us a little niche something, and it's like, oh, maybe we should open that up and do some more groundwork back in the other state?
Yeah, there is definitely some special qualities of each state. I mean, like we get into Upper Michigan, you can get into a lot of wilderness areas. You can get into areas where you're going way back in the woods, and then you better be prepared when you're back there so that, if something bad happens, you can get out, gets unstuck, this, that, and the other thing. You may not even have cell reception in some places up there. I'd say overall, Wisconsin's got a lot more stuff going on. I mean, we've got a lot more cities and a lot more activities and a lot more quirky things going on.
And just about the same lake access, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Just about the same lake access. I do want to shout out some commenters that are talking about what you're talking about and really giving praise to the UP. I know one of our feature listeners out there, Deanna DeRoshi. Shout out, Mom. Hi, Mom. She happens to be a young lady that birthed me. And she's from Michigan, Lincoln Park, a little bit on the eastern side, so about 30-ish minutes south of Detroit. But I can only imagine my mother growing up and those trips that she would take. Shout out you and your memory road there, Mom. Shane Passimoni as well. He's one of our main commenters. Him and his wife, Jess Passimoni, they have a cabin up there in the UP, like many, many Wisconsinites do. And the fact that they're in the comments right here is just amazing. And that's just a tribute to what you're talking about. I mean, whether it's a Stoner's Travel Guide to the Tobacco Road State back home where I'm from in North Carolina, or right here in the UP. I mean, this is pretty darn impressive. And Jay, to finally bring you in, buddy. I know you've been marinating, buddy.
No, I'm being quiet today.
You're doing very well.
Other people's time to shine.
Well, I appreciate that. And how's your high rise, if you don't
Excellent.
mind?
Yeah. No, I'm a blueberry sucker, so yeah. No.
10 milligrams is the perfect speed for you?
No, the 50.
The 50?
Yeah.
You're allowed to crack one of those as soon as you're done, buddy.
I'm trying to get her down. So
Weed responsibly if
that's
you're
why
at home.
I let Gene talk so I could get half of it down, and then I'll talk for a little bit, and then he'll talk. I'll get the other half down, and you'll hear a shh on the 50.
That's what I'm talking about. If you like the facial hair, ladies and gentlemen at home, feel free to comment. If you don't like it, feel free to comment as well. I want to know your feedback. I'm going for something here. I feel like this facial hair kind of embodies the Wisconsinite, the Wisconsinner that much better, as well as sporting cool, the best in the industry on each patch, each side.
I thought maybe you were introducing like a motor breath head cross strain or something here that you were going to do a commercial or
a little promo.
Yeah, we're not sure what was going on. I like it. I like it. So
Thank
when,
you so
when I
much,
was
Jay.
younger, I had this dream of growing some beautiful lamb chops like that, but I just never could do it. I'm jealous.
It's never too late.
I keep trying, but it doesn't work.
What do you think, in studio audience? Make some noise if you think Gene should try to grow out the chops. You know? Yeah.
Hey, I'll give it another shot.
Give it another shot. Here we go. No Shave November is upon us. So
after
brace.
all those years of shaving, maybe now she'll
Yeah.
grow in for you.
Maybe.
You never know.
I'm like Joe Dirt. It kind of grows in kind of patchy, right?
Bear with Brandon a
Right
moment.
here, kind of
Yeah,
patchy
He's been growing
right
his
here.
beard since we met him, right?
since we met.
It doesn't grow.
And that's okay. You don't have to grow facial hair to be considered a man. It does not make you any more or lesser. It just means you can't be the next brawny guy on the toilet. It's not toilet, it's tissue paper. Excuse me. But Jay, working over to you, owner of Heritage Hemp Farms. Been going on since when? 2000.
We were actually the second farm to successfully harvest hemp when the law changed back in 2018. So,
Come on, baby.
yep. So we would have been the
Grassroots.
first one, but we couldn't figure out the DAC cap, how to get them to come out, and yeah, so somebody else beat us to it. But
That's all right.
yeah, no, we say it's a shared glory, anyways, amongst friends and family and the other people in industries who are pioneers. So we just like to say we were one of the first, So. But
Ain't nothing wrong with claiming first if you want to claim it. baby.
we're not going to claim it because we know for a fact we weren't. So,
Copy that.
but
Nothing wrong with that, man. Thank you so much for taking the drive, man.
no problem.
Long drive.
Yeah, the first company that did it is still, or the first farm that did it is still farming too. So that is a good success. That
Yes,
a lot of
it
the
is.
people that I saw enter the business have survived, morphed, and now are thriving.
Mm.
Because they stuck it out. So.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah,
And speak,
well, and loyal client base pays for it all, just to have people stick with you through the CBD and the change. And now here it's, client loyalty is very important. And thank you all clients who supported me and everybody.
Yeah,
really appreciate
absolutely.
it. So,
and for those of you at home that don't know, Jay Selthfoner, Mr. Selthfoner, if you will, has been an activist for over damn near 30 years. And what we owe to him as an industry is to ask his opinion on something that is pertinent to all those that use the wonderful giggle bush or the good herb, whatever you want to call it. Mr. J, when you hear Trump drop the news in the last couple of weeks about the addressing rescheduling and or possibly moving to decriminalization, like we've seen some smaller towns do across America, what is more or less your waiting for the moment? You waiting to see legislation pass, or you waiting to see a headline that's like, okay, here we go?
So on the rescheduling process, my understanding is that the current administration under Trump can't start the rescheduling process again. The previous President Biden started the process, and that rescheduling, doesn't end with the presidency. So that whole process has to take place before it can. Well, if it passes, there would be no point to bring it up again. But if it doesn't pass, to restart the process. And my understanding of where the process is right now is we had a administrative judge that needed to either schedule a hearing. I believe he needed to schedule a hearing, and that would be the next step in that the whole rescheduling process. But in the intermediate time, he had announced that he's retiring.
Ooh.
And so that's kind of where the stymie is now, is that does that responsibility for that hearing lie on a new judge that's going to be appointed? Or are we waiting for rescheduling? Is there going to be a new judge to do that? At least that's the last,
That's
podcast
really the
that's
cliff,
where we're at.
the cliff that we're hanging on
I
right
think
now
so,
is
yes.
more or less.
But I think most importantly is that scheduling process has to be completed before Trump can demand it be done again. There's some things that I think Trump could do or say that would help that current process that we're in be expedited
Yes.
along. A lot of those are still, a lot of what we're working on still is dependent upon lawmakers or Congress.
Yep.
So he still needs to put the pressure on the lawmaking body to act on all of these things also. And like I said, there's ways that we could beat this horse a different way rather than rescheduling. And we would like to see it come at all angles.
Yep. And with that being said, the feds are also looking, as of I think an episode or two ago, Trevor, my co-host, and I, we went ahead and covered that the feds are now looking at the state models to see which ones are the most successful, like Colorado, California, Arizona, Texas, even though Texas medicinal program is hemp-derived cannabis, nothing greater than, you know,
Yep.
0.03 or 0.3 delta 9.
Still program.
Yeah, still a program nonetheless. So with the Fed, in my opinion, having reported that a little while ago with Trevor, we both think, I would like to speak for Trevor here. I hope you feel better, my co-host, by the way. Love you, buddy.
You're well soon.
Get well soon, man. In the comments, say get well soon to Trevor. He needs it. He needs to be picked up. Nothing too bad. It's just, you know, occasional stuff. But I think we both agree for the most part that if it's going to come, it's going to come quick, and it's going to come with the expeditious acts of Donald Trump, as opposed to just sitting and waiting. But with them looking at the statewide programs, that's just telling the public that they have initiative. And I'm not sure if telling about initiative is going to keep doing it.
So the one thing that's come to light, or at least conversation now, is the battle between, I don't say even battle, but the parallel programs that are running between the hemp program and then states that have rec or medical.
That's the best way to put it, like Illinois.
Yeah. So we have parallel programs here. And, you know, and so in my eyes, I feel it's going to be somewhat difficult for the federal government to, you know, okay, the federal government wants to legalize marijuana. How are they going to do it? Are they going to come into Colorado's program and say, hey, we want 80% of your tax base and 92% control over your program? Are those going to be the numbers? And is Colorado going to bow over to that? Or are the feds and the people who are working on this issue, do they understand that maybe there's some other roadblocks internationally in some of the treaties we've entered and some of our Narcotics Act that possibly legalizing marijuana or keeping marijuana illegal on a federal basis may just be words at this point, especially if you can massage the industrial hemp program to be, you know, a fiber, a seed, and human consumption, and then deal with your human consumption for CBD and this and that. But if the feds create a very attractive program that can run parallel with these other states, they may just see, you know, producers, providers, consumers leave medical states that are, you know, somewhat higher tax than normal than maybe what the USDA or the Fed government program would be. And then some of the programs aren't always most friendly for small businesses and this and that. So if the federal government's program under hemp or total cannabinoids is so attractive and covers all of our products, it may be a parallel system that allows the feds to legalize cannabis once and for all. And if the state-run meds, recs, and programs can run parallel side by side with them, that's what economy is. That's what capitalism is. And let them be, you know, let's have total consumer freedom at this point. So,
Yep, I totally agree. There, very well said, as a matter of fact, Jay. And thank you for saying that, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of monkeys that could wrench the situation one way or another, you know, but that seems to be the way it's going, especially for congressional friendlies who see this as the avenue to expedite this whole thing that's been way too long, you know.
Copy that. Understood. And I hope you understand that at home. Seriously, this is an expert in the field that you are in love with, if you are me. But if you love cannabis, or you just care about cannabis for the sake of having a wellness tool available to you, maybe you don't want to use it, maybe you just want to have it available to you. This is an actual expert in the field delivering good takes.
Yeah, and most people who aren't users look at marijuana prohibition as a tax burden that they don't want to pay anymore. That they may not agree with cannabis use, they may not ever use themselves, but they don't want their tax dollars to support a system of prohibition anymore. That's pretty plain to see, especially talking with just, you know, because in the activism world, you have to speak with a lot of non-users also, and
yes,
the everyday mix. And that's what I get a lot of feedback at is that it's just, it doesn't make sense to spend money. Not when you can get everything anywhere or shipped to you or whatever.
That's like, absolutely right.
Yeah, prohibition has failed. Prohibition is a model, just like medical marijuana is a model, recreational state-run rec programs are a model. The USDA program, what they're doing is a model right now. You know, prohibition was a model, it just failed. And we just need to realize that.
That's it.
Be done with it.
And that reminds me of prohibition9.com. If you're at home and you're bored and you're scrolling late at night and you want to shop for some items on a nationwide scale, nationwide platform, check out prohibition9.com for some of the best hemp-derived cannabinoid products on the market. Brandon, I know it's a little early, buddy, but I'm going to ask that you hit this commercial break because I'm so eager for you guys at home to give me some feedback on it. We had a lot of fun making this commercial with Tom and Channel 5, and let us know in the comments right here what you think about it.
Every year, my body hurts more and more. You're like 40. How are you not in pain?
You should check out the Dispensary.
What do you guys think? The live audience didn't really get a chance to see it because the TV's a little off kilter to where they're sitting, but you heard their reaction nonetheless. So what was your reaction to that wonderful new commercial brought to you by yours truly and the crew? Shout out Jamie Ray right there with the applause. That's big time. Tom, the MVP of that commercial, I'll have you know, is just a specimen of a human being. He is all of just barely under 50. And he is every bit of athletic that you saw on that very screen right there. That was a natural home run dinger, and that was a natural hurdle that he did over me. There was no assistance on my end at all. Completely, Tom. Very, very respectful. And Gene, I wanted to ask you, man.
Yes.
Are there any particular wellness products of the cannabis industry realm that you like to use that may help you in recovery, whether or not you sleep well, or throughout your writing process? Because as a creative myself, I understand that there is a process, and a lot of times it comes with a spark. I was just wondering if your spark is similar to mine, or if you drink it, you know what I mean, like we're doing today, or what more or less that process is with the cannabis.
Well, I, like everybody else, probably, I started the typical bongs and smoking and every form of smoking. But I did notice as I got older, it did start bothering my lungs and coughing too much. So I switched over time. And for a few years now, I've only been doing edibles.
Really?
And I love the beverages.
Congratulations, Gene.
Thanks. I mean, I think it's great. What I really love about edibles is, well, there's no smell. And there can be, besides the smell of just bothering people, it can be the smell of getting arrested, if you know. And it also lasts a long time. Like you want to go into a ball game. When I want to go into a game, it's hard to smoke in the Packer Stadium, or a lot of you can take some edibles.
As a matter of fact, we're going to turn this into a short form clip because Brandon has the picture posted on our social media.
Just learned.
There's a guy that's probably like 250, absolutely raw, and he's ripping a disposable like I am.
Like one hit, he blinked that thing and it's empty. You know.
No exhale at all from the
like his body absorbed it. It's like, what the heck, dude?
So Gene, you've gone completely smokeless.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
is there some pot that you'll still smell and be like, hold on?
Well, now here's the thing that added to the whole problem is like when I got COVID, I lost some of my sense of smell, a lot of it. And so that was one of the greatest treats of smoking pot is that beautiful fragrance, the terpenes, all that stuff. So now for me, it's mostly about the highs, strictly the high, you know?
Yes.
And edibles are perfect for me, you know, long lasting high, readily available. I'll tell you, I've tried a lot of different ways of consuming it too. One weird way that I came up with recently is I took some bud, and you know, you get those little coffee bean grinders that you can grind up your own coffee beans.
I've seen many a variety.
Yeah, and you put your bud in there and grind it up. And if you want, you can sift it out a little bit, so it's just like powder. Mm-hmm. And I'll take that powder, take about a teaspoon of that, put it in some, let's say yogurt, like flavored yogurt. Boom, there's your edible. And you didn't have to do a lot of processing, a lot of baking, a lot of anything, you know, and it's so you can add it to a lot of things like that, but yogurt is pretty nice.
So the versatility of either buying, like the ease of access of buying a pack of edibles versus, you know, constructing your own cocktail. You know, it doesn't sound like it's outside of your wheelhouse at all.
You know, for years I would eat make my own brownies. That's classic, you know.
You're a bit of a Brownie Mary guy, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Rest in peace to her.
And the nice thing about the brownies is you can take your kind of crappy shake, sift that out into a powder, make brownies.
How do you activate that shake to make it to where it'll actually get you high?
You know, it's amazing because I don't understand how the body processes it, because if you smoke it, you can smoke that shake all day long and you're only going to get so high. But you take that same shake, you put it in the brownies, eat a dose of brownie, and now you're up here.
And all you need to do with your shake is just put it in the oven at like 245, 250 for like maybe 5-10 minutes or a little bit longer.
You've never just eaten raw bud and gotten high? You don't think your stomach
Can't say I have. No,
Yeah, do it sometime. Your stomach acid will convert that A to.
Really?
Sure.
There's no
Yeah.
need to preheat.
I've heard a lot of different people do that, like getting the, but
So
I,
you also smell it.
normally-
I think your story you told before was a little like conservative. He was out of gummies, and so he didn't have anything to get high. So he ripped apart our pre-roll and he ate it.
Oh, I've done that. I've done that, but I
but
mean,
I-
it should be powderized.
I know, but really, you can eat it.
You can eat it, yeah,
we were back in the day. We got some bud. We don't have a light or anything like that. What do? All right, rip it in half. You eat half. I ate half, and the way you go, and it's just like an edible, man. Eat it tonight or tomorrow when you're sober.
Now you could argue.
eat one for breakfast. Eat
See,
a bud
now-
for breakfast. See what
Now
happens.
maybe you could argue, like if you have you're baking the brownie, maybe that's a form of decarbonization.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, it is. But you can.
But you can eat it
You
plain,
can
like
eat
you
it
said,
raw.
still get
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
Shout out to anybody in the chat or
Yeah,
even
see how many
at
raw
the table.
pot eaters we have.
How
out there
many
in
folks
comments.
have had to eat raw cannabis in a pinch, or how many folks have had to eat it out of curiosity?
Don't you know a joint roach eater at all? Like we know people.
We
who
used to
are
call
like,
that Wu-Tang in it, where you
Yeah.
smoking a joint and you
"Oh, man,
swallow it.
Yeah,
Only out of necessity, though.
yeah.
You
yeah.
know,
Or if the
typically
cops are
never out
coming
of-
and you got to eat it. You know?
Yeah, never out of preference, just necessity.
Not a curiosity.
Oh,
either,
my
just not out of
goodness.
curiosity.
How long does your edible high last, if you don't mind me asking?
Um,
If it's a really good one, are you like an all dare?
No, it would be like a couple hours. So
Couple
I mean,
hours.
I would typically, well, if you're a heavy user with edibles, you might eat several times during the day. That would be, 3-4 times I eat some edibles.
Do you have a preference with food on your stomach already, or with not? Because I hear
I haven't
different
had a
reports.
big-
Are edibles
I see
food?
different reports about the edibles metabolizing a little bit better if you do have something on your stomach already.
We just consider edibles food.
Touche. Touche.
I guess I haven't tested that out thoroughly enough to notice. I tried it empty and full stomach, but now with the legalization here in Upper Michigan or the local gummies you can get at dispensaries like yours. I mean, gummies are so darn convenient. I mean,
I still think chocolate and cannabis in a brownie, just that chocolate. And
Butter-based
cannabis-
anything with
Butter-based,
cannabis in it is
yeah,
going
but
to
chocolate-
rock.
But chocolate is good with cannabis, I think, too.
Chocolate's one of the better maskers of cannabis taste, so I've come to find.
yeah, that's where they were good with the brownies because
What's your most unusual infused edible you've ever
There you
eaten?
go.
I don't know. I can't think of anything real weird because
Did you ever try the infused beef jerkies?
no.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird one. Yeah.
Granted, show brother Bear real quick. This man, bear with me. This man made some cannabis jerky, and it was freaking amazing.
It wasn't strong enough. It was
No.
very weak, but it was good.
It was experiment. So
Yes.
So what did you use? Concentrates or how did you?
It was a powdered one, so it
Oh.
came in like a
Yep.
seasoned jerk pack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Powdered
And
form.
then I used that as the seasoning.
Okay.
yeah, I'm interested to try some D9 infused seasonings. So we're getting
Ooh.
some in our store, and
Yeah.
we're going to be playing with them for cooking ourselves at home. And you're like you're a kid in a candy store, but yet you're like an entrepreneur yet thinking about new products and how can we do this? It's our time it's not our time. It's cannabis's time
There
to
you go.
shine. So.
Give me your top give me your top 5 spices you would want infused in your pantry, both of you, not simultaneously.
So I'm going to leave it to Gene because my wife does the cooking for me.
There we
but,
go. That's a good union you have there.
Yeah.
Very good
yeah,
union.
She takes care of me well. So,
Well done. You want to shout her out real quick on the
Noreen, I love you. Thank you for everything you do for me.
camera? Gene, top 5 spices you would want to have infused in your pantry right now.
There's a spice. There's a Cajun spice mix I like. Cajun spice mix I like called Tony Cacheret's. You can buy it at a lot of the big grocery chains, and that has a mixture of spices, pepper and garlic and other things. And if I was going savory, that's where I would go, with the cannabis. But I do tend to like to get away from the super sweet. I mean, the edibles, you find so many edibles that are so super sweet. And if you're consuming a lot, like several doses a day, all of a sudden you think, well, yeah, maybe I don't want to eat this super sweet thing every time, But
You got to have Cajun in there, though. You got to bring the fire.
Bring the fire.
yeah,
You a big spice guy, Jay?
I will eat it, but yeah, I'm not going crazy on it. But a
I know
little Cajun or a little barbecue or something like that is fine. But I don't need to burn my anything.
I've met a few Wisconsinites that think a little salt is spicy. As somebody from the Southeast, I mean, at the pulled pork barbecue here is a little bit different, but still just as good.
But I do definitely miss the isolate products are all fine and dandy, but having a meal with can of butter and using can of butter in like a full meal product is pretty neat too. You have to have the medicated Thanksgiving meal, I think would be a good cannabis tradition where, not that it's highly medicated and everything that you're crazy, but a medicated meal would be okay. We can infuse everything now, can't we?
Yes, we can, as a matter of fact. And you at home, you have the ability to infuse anything you want. If you stop by any dispensary location or shop on prohibition9.com, you'll find that you can take just about any of these products and make them into something that you crave. It's not that hard, and it's not to be looked at as some mountainous task. And for everybody being different, the slew of products is going to make it that much easier for you to find something. Jay, when it comes to your business, in particular, Heritage Hemp Farms, what is on the horizon for you guys going into the rest of 2025 as we have merely less than 200 days?
Yeah. So we did open a store in Ripon, Wisconsin now. So our kind of motto is we're a dispensary with a farm store twist. So we're really trying to cater on Wisconsin grown products, but also continue on with the activism and those types of things, protect what we have and build off that. Ripon is close to my home, but it's also the birthplace of the Republican Party. So whether that's conservative or not, we don't care. It brings some attention to the issue nonetheless. So getting the store up and running full time, maybe looking at another store, watching what the feds are going to do here, and then, hopefully planning on and watching what the state is going to do too. We could, a ban is always looming. Do I think it's going to pass? No. Would I think Governor Evers would veto it? Yes. Are we going to see a different governor next, election cycle? Yes. So some of that stuff that I do working with candidates is going to continue. And, even like places like yours and other dispensaries and retail shops have offered their shop to say, if you're meeting with a candidate or something and you want to come in and talk and show them product and, so the combination of both being very community active, working on possibly a local decriminalization effort here, building the store and continue to do what I've done in the past. And then the Sooners Travel Guide, that's our baby, buddy. We're going to print that book here in a short time. I've been talking to you about the advertising of it.
Yep.
We kind of have a advertising deadline here to get some other businesses to be included in the directory. And then we're going to get that book printed. And, from now until 4/20, I'm going to be working real hard on making sure that we get the book in retail locations and that we continue with our online presence and building that and, doing the events,
Absolutely.
to sell the books and promote the book. And now that we have cannabis that we can sell with it too, it makes the booths very attractive at the farmers markets that, don't have cannabis presence. So I like small town America versus big cities. So I plan on looking at what the key districts are in 2026 and taking not only my activism, but my cannabis and my travel guide there.
That's what I'm talking about. And for those that are watching the program, thank you for being here. I'm about to ask Jay something that you need to listen especially close to. Jay, how can somebody that feels so small with just an individual singular voice, how can they make that voice best be heard to who and then inform them as to who needs to hear that voice?
Yeah, it's really about developing relationships with people that I consider centers of influence. So those aren't always elected officials. Those sometimes are your community leaders or whatnot. But in the lawmaking and the low-hanging fruit in Wisconsin is still local decriminalization. Your city that you live, because I always ask is, do you, when somebody calls me and I want to be an activist, what do I start? Whatever, I ask, so do you live in a city or a county? Well, yeah, everybody does. Well, that's where you start. Look at what the current laws are in your city and county. And if you feel that they're archaic, change them by developing relationships with the people who have the power to change those, educate them. And so, you start at your county level with your county board members, your city clerk, and then you start paying attention to the chain as they go up. And pretty soon, you have a relationship with your senator and your assembly rep and, your congressional rep, and stay a well-rounded individual. Although you might care about cannabis, one of the things that's the hardest is beginning that relationship. But if you do care about other things too, sign up to the politician's newsletter. When they send you an email out that says all the crap they're doing, send them an email back and say, well, why did you do this? Or, develop those relationships with people. And again, I think here, because we have a situation where the industry is moving so much faster than what elected officials are, but on that local basis, it can really be expedited, that in a few meetings you can change the law in your city or county. And so it's the low-hanging fruit, because
it'll probably be a tidal wave effect. Now that I see it, as you're talking ever so experienced and expertly, I can see it in my head. It's just going to be a tidal wave of like, yeah, this is good to go now. Weed is good.
Yeah, most of the major municipalities in Wisconsin have some form of decriminalization.
We've seen in 2022, Green Bay, as a matter of fact, they decriminalized possessing 28 grams of pot.
Yeah. So now what we'd want to see is those cities who've already done something, do something more. And, whether that's removing the, instead of going from $1 fine scheme, go to the 0 fine scheme, or maybe set cannabis as the lowest enforcement priority. But there's still a lot of counties and rural areas in Wisconsin that have not done so. And so we're going to ask for our city dwellers to come to the country too and help with activism there.
Yeah.
But it does begin at home. So talk to your city and county board.
Copy that. That makes a lot of sense. And I hope you were listening. If you didn't, you play this on back and you'll be able to know who to talk to and where you should go with that voice of yours, because it does matter. As small and as an individual as you may feel, there are billions of people on this planet. And with that being said, there's a lot of people out there that probably share the same sentiment that you do on a particular subject, whether it be radical or not. I guarantee you there's people out there that think alike. So with that being said, never feel like your voice is too small, and always be informed. And thank you for being here at the Dispensary Live, where we try our best to inform you about industry updates as well as expert interviews. Thank you so much for being here, Gene and Jay. Genuinely, and
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
yeah, I was just about to go back to Gene and say, man, of all the places that you had the privilege of venturing and getting to interact with some of the beautiful locals up there in the UP, what would be a place that stands out in your heart that if you were to say, skip the book to any one thing, skip the book and go do this one thing up there, like what is something that stands out to you? Even if it's a tie, you're allowed to do that. Because I'd like to know from the audience as well, where's your favorite place in the UP or Wisconsin or Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Virginia, where we operate?
That's really a tough one, because there's some very beautiful areas up there. I mean, for example, there's 14 different wilderness areas, designated wilderness areas in Upper Michigan. But one of the places we really enjoyed, we took a trip with Jesse out to Drummond Island. And Drummond Island is pretty cool in its own right, but on the way there was just this little town called Hessel, and the beaches that are, who owns those beaches, Jesse? The Nature Conservancy. Thousands of acres of beach frontage they own over there, and it's like wilderness, and but you can have access to it, kayak in these bays. It's just so amazing. But I mean, there is so many unbelievable, incredible areas up there that
name some more of those points, because when we make the short form content,
yeah,
they're going to be bing, bing,
I
bing.
mean, the whole Tacamagan Falls area is beautiful.
The Kitchikapiki Springs is
Oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
Kitchikipi, yeah, Springs is
The Big Springs.
The Big Springs.
Yeah,
Everybody knows what it's referred to as long as you say the Big Springs.
if
in the UP.
you're Googling it, you'll find it at least, So.
Okay.
But yeah, how do you pronounce Kitchikapiki?
Kitchikipi.
I can see the
He's got
spell.
Up by Marquette, there's Loch Annenland Sculpture Park,
Yeah.
Ooh.
which is amazing. One of my favorite sculpture parks in
I'm a
the
big
country.
art guy when I'm high, to be honest with you.
I mean, the Porcupine Mountains itself in the UP is pretty crazy,
Keweenaw Peninsula.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just some.
So basically, if it's hard to pronounce, you should go in that direction.
See, Upper Michigan is real wide. It's not so deep. But if what you want to do is kind of pick out a section of that and then do everything that you can in that section.
And that's why part of the travel guide is important.
Yeah, because every
online
section has,
because-
every section has something amazing that you can check out. So it's almost like just pick out one of those sections, do a little research from the book, go for it. It's amazing. And you got the Great Lakes, of course.
Oh yeah, infinite amount of glory there.
I mean, hundreds of miles of beaches.
When it comes to Wisconsin now, because I have a bit more of a Wisconsin heavy audience base right now in the chat at the very least. I would like you to argue with them as to what some of your best places here would be, because in the comment section, I want you to go tell me what are the best places in Wisconsin. We're going to see if Gene and Jay have very
we
similar
actually want
mind.
your people to go to the stonerstravelguide.com and list their site.
There we go.
Because it's a free listing. So if you got, like you said, your favorite disc golf course, your favorite, back hiking trail. I like to trout
Just a
fishing.
campsite even.
Yeah, campsite. I mean, if you want to put your fishing spot and GPS location on there, we'll take that too, all that.
Whether it be a niche spot or just a publicly known well area that's worth the visit, any user is able to input said data into the Stoner's Traveling Guide.
Exactly.
It's almost like the sisterhood of the traveling pants.
I'll give you a real quick example. I went to take some additional photos a couple days ago. I went to the Dells of the Eau Claire, which isn't in Eau Claire. It's
Shout out to Dells.
northeast of Wausau.
Wausau.
Beautiful falls, cliffs, walking bridge across the river. Then I went to Leoki Woodson Art Museum in Wausau, the Bird Museum. They've got a sculpture garden out there that looks like something out of an English mansion with these amazing wildlife sculptures and the bird art, which is internationally known. Then I went out to a place north of Marshfield called Jurassic Park.
Jurassic?
Yes, and it's several miles north of Marshfield. And what this guy did was he takes all this scrap material and car parts and weird scrap metal he finds, and he makes these amazing, gigantic dinosaurs, dragons, weird ass creatures. And he has it all out in his yard, and it's free, and you can go there and tour it. If he's got some smaller ones you can buy, but mostly it's just a free thing. And then after that, I went to a city called Rudolph.
Rudolph, Wisconsin?
Yes, and it's
Shout out Rudolph.
Yes, and Rudolph is really small, but there's a really unique attraction there in town called the Rudolph Grotto. And the Rudolph Grotto, if you're not familiar with grottos, they're kind of these giant stone structures that are kind of artistic looking. And in England or some European countries, they just might have those out in a garden. But in Wisconsin, grottos are primarily religious, Catholic things. But this grotto has something called the Wonder Cave. This priest, many decades ago, he wanted to make a grotto in a cave, which is one way to do it. You make a cave and then you have little religious shrines within this cave. But that's flatland. There is no caves there. So he went about over many decades taking all this rock, making a ginormous, like a mountain of rock, which has a myriad labyrinth of tunnels going through this cave. And as you go along, it's lit up. You'll come along and there'll all of a sudden be in a dugout area where there's some shrines and hollowed out, and you wind up to a second story, and then you have to come back down. I felt like I walked a mile in that thing. I mean, it was unbelievable. And they have it painted with this kind of luminescent paint on the inside. So when the light hits it, some of these shrines kind of glow like in a mystical way, sort of give it a little added extra selling appeal, I guess. But it only costs $3 to go into the Wonder Cave.
Oh, wow.
And in Rudolph, there's a cool cheese factory, which has, you could walk in and buy the cheese right there that's made that day. And
that brings up a whole nother subject before we start wrapping this up. Each of you, undividedly, top 3 cheeses you cannot live without. Go, Gene.
Cheese curds, hot pepper cheese, and I don't know. I'd have to think about that. What do you say, Jay?
20-year-old sharp cheddar, 15-year-old sharp cheddar, 10-year-old sharp cheddar.
There you go. I'll go with one of his
Provolone and maybe pepper jack too, but sharp cheddar, obviously. So the older, the better.
Brother Bear, top 3 cheeses you can't live without, brother.
Nothing.
I wasn't thinking. Cheese curds definitely hit the list. There's like this Belgioso I like, a little triangle cheese,
Yeah.
wedge.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, just your standard cheese. You just need cheese in the fridge, shredded.
What about you,
I know
bud?
shredded's not the best.
Okay.
I shouldn't say
What
that.
about you, bud?
For me, and feel free to disagree with me. Number 1,
Parm
cream
cheese.
cheese.
Cream cheese. Yeah.
Gotta have it. Very versatile, savory and sweet there. Sliced American cheese in the square package that you grew up on. You can't live without it. And then the fucking pepper jack.
Pepper jack.
But Gouda is like a hard, like a very close
Yeah.
four.
Like, so when you go to like a fancy place and they have a spread of all those cheeses and stuff, that shit's fire, man. You know,
It
all
is.
those different types of
And we want the
cheeses and
older
stuff.
ones, right?
Yeah. Well, no,
I
I,
don't
mean,
mind.
there's some
I love
fresh
blue-
stuff.
I
I
love
think
blue
that's
cheese.
good.
Big fan
no,
of blue
no,
cheese.
I know blue cheese, but I think there's some fresh cheeses that are good too. You know, like I do. I'm a sharp cheddar guy, but I know when we go to those spreads and you got like, you know, there's 30 different kind of cheeses there and you try them all. I mean, it's like cannabis. That's how, you know, I mean, that's why the cheese.
I got a couple submissions here. Feel free to get your submission in as to what cheese you cannot live without in the comment section. Jamie Ray on YouTube, can't live without parm. A chicken parm's not a chicken parm without parm. I get it. I totally understand that there. Shredded Parmesan, though, very underrated. If you were to go your whole life having like pasta, especially red sauce pasta, and never experienced Parmesan cheese, if you never experienced, I feel like you would die having missed out on something, to be honest with you.
Probably.
You're not a fan of the Parmesan cheese?
No, I like Parmesan. You don't have to go like, oh, keep going, pile on and be like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Big fan of what they used to do, or they might still do it in Olive Garden.
Yeah, where it's like
Go until
don't say anything, and you're like, okay, so they're gonna stop.
I have a timer. Gene, are you working on anything before we get out of here in the next few minutes that you would want outside of the Stoner's Traveling Guide, or is there any last message you'd like to give to the viewers of the Dispensary Live?
Well, we're very excited about the new book coming out, and I'm working on some side projects too. I just moved up to the UP, and I'm developing, starting up my crayfish business again, and some of that stuff, harvesting wild crayfish. So
Congratulations.
yeah, stay tuned.
Do you have a website for that
yeah,
yet?
crayfishman.com.
Crayfishman.com.
There you go.
What are you doing? Let's be more enthusiastic about it. Jeez Louise, you sell yourself. I want to buy your crayfish. I pronounce them crawfish, but crayfish because you're here. As soon as you leave, it's crawfish though.
Yeah, you got to come up. I mean, the northern crayfish are, I hate to say it, but they are better than the swamp crawfish down south.
Really?
Oh, they're coming from this pristine, clean water. You can look down 10, 12 feet and see the bottom of the lake.
I'm
You
never
know,
going to argue
oh,
that
I mean,
versus
it's
getting it out in the
unbelievable.
mud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nothing against the swamp crawfish. I've eaten tons of them, you know, but they don't.
Is there a taste
measure up to
difference?
ours.
Legit?
What's that?
Is there a taste difference, or is it just
Oh,
how,
yeah,
how it's
there's
prepped?
definitely a taste difference. Ours tastes a little bit more akin to like a lobster taste, a shrimp taste, you know, that real nice zingy seafood taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the swamp crawfish has some of that too, but it's got that little mud taste to it too, you know. But you say, not all the people in Louisiana are going to be pissed off at me. I know.
No, they're not going to be mad. And to those in Louisiana that have never tried
Yes,
whitewater
exactly.
crayfish from the UP, in what particular city did you say?
He's not
I
giving
live in,
that out.
I live in Wallace. That's-
You live in Wallace. Okay, so somewhere around the region of Wallace. If you've never had the crayfish from Wallace
somewhere
region, UP, don't judge, okay? Because we're not judging your mud crawfish as a unit. We're just saying that other options are other options.
But as far as the Stoner Enterprise goes, they're definitely New Mexico is probably the next book.
Yeah,
New
we're working on
Mexico.
New Mexico.
A lot of
New
UFO activity
New
out there,
Mexico
man.
is
That's going to be a fun one.
So amazing. Yeah, New Mexico. It's a land of enchantment on the license plate, and it's really true. It's such a weird, bizarre, unique place. I love it. You know.
And the industry is from what I've been seeing on some pre-work on it so far, just working with some of the industry players there.
New Mexico's booming.
It's
New Mexico is booming in the hemp industry right now.
Yes, very much so.
You'd be surprised. I used to think Wisconsin was as far west as, it's just the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
You go to, those operators out there in those states, there's a lot of shit going on in the hemp industry out west.
Mm-hmm.
We just get we get a bit more of a local lens being here in the Midwest. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're not discounted at all.
No.
Just saying the lens is very different versus the southwestern part of America.
Definitely regional differences in taste presentation in cannabis. I mean, East Coast, West Coast, now we're seeing, from Nevada to Tennessee, it's like each state's getting known for something that they do really, really well. And whether that's using their local resources or, your knowledge and not having to hire in a whole bunch of people or whatever. But I think there's a lot of all states are killing it in one way, shape, or form. That's why it's the exciting time for us. It's ending. Prohibition is ending. It's ending.
That's more or less our message here on the program, is that it is ending, and we're going to be the first ones to let you know what that immediate first step to it being over is. And I can't thank you all at home enough, whether it's Facebook, X, YouTube. 1,000 subscribers, guys. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up. Yeah. Live studio audience for the first time. It's September 2025. A lot of craziness is happening, but it doesn't have to be crazy in our own minds and hearts. And I personally believe that Jesus, as the Lord and Savior of my life, can do the same for you. And whether or not you're with that or not, I don't judge you for it. Just know that I love you at home regardless. And Jay and Gene, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. You guys were amazing. At home, clap it up for them. Clap it up for the boys at home. And until next, I believe we got 2 Thursdays until the first Thursday of October. That's when we will be live again at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the first episode of the new month, in which we can't wait to see you there. Trevor, I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
Get well soon, bud.
We'll see you guys on the next one.